Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all keeping well. This video, I want to talk about the idea of pickling or a pickle file. Now, this might be a fairly new concept. It's certainly something I didn't really kind of come about into my first couple of years of working in Python. So basically what a pickle file does, it can take a Python object like a list, a tuple, or a dictionary, convert it into some form which can then be written to file. It then stores it in a file. What we can then do is then take that file, read it back into Python, and we can then get back our same dictionary, list, tuple, etc. And now you might want to do this. So say, for example, we're creating a dictionary, and maybe this dictionary involves, a load of function calls to make up the values, and maybe this takes like 10 minutes to go ahead and do. If your data is the same every single time, you don't want to be running the code at the top to make the dictionary, spending 10 minutes and then going on later. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a faff to then run that program time and time again. So what you could do, you could run it once, make that dictionary save into memory as a pickle file, and then in future, just read in that file and off you go. So let's cover the basics of how to do a basic make a dictionary, save to file, then go from file back into dictionary, and then we'll do a worked example of something a bit more complex. I also want to discuss the risks of this as well, but we'll do the basic example first. So up top, we can go ahead and import pickle here, and let's just start off with something really simple. We'll just say A is equal to James, and then we'll just do 100. Keep it as simple as we possibly can. So what we're going to do is do with open. And this is going to be the name of my file. So let's just call this my file, or my file actually spelled correctly, myfile.pickle or .pkl, which you should be using. And the mode is going to be like this. If you do mode equals, it's going to be WB for writing bytes. We're going to be writing in bytes, not just a normal string. And we'll do as file here. And the method we're going to be using is pickle.dump, and then it wants to be passed in two different things. First of all, the object to be pickled, which is the dictionary, which in this case is going to be A, and then the file upon which we're then going to be writing to. So in this case, we're saying open a file called myfile.pickle, mode WB, so write bytes. This means it will create it from fresh every single time, so overwriting if it's already there. We're opening it as file, and then we're doing pickle.dump this dictionary into that file we just opened. So let's run it and see what happens. Okay, that ran, if no errors, that looks good. And there we are, myfile.pickle. Of course, we can't see this, the way it's all scrambled, etc., which is, yeah, fine. You wouldn't expect VS Code to read this anyway, but that's gone ahead and, yeah, it's made a pickle file containing the data for this dictionary here. Now what we can do is go back the other way. So imagine like what I discussed earlier. If this was like, a task that took like an hour to write or 10 minutes, whatever, suppose you're making a load of API calls or it's some big machine learning model, you could like do this right at the very start, save this, and then rather than recomputing it, just open the file and use the same results. Of course, you are depending on the results being the same, so this is something that does change every single time. It is a bit pointless. So there is some situations where you might not want to do this. Now, if we want to go back the other way, let's take this and put it underneath. Let's go ahead and comment out the first one. So we're still going to open the same file, but we're going to do it as rather than write bytes, it's going to be read bytes like this. And then what we do is we do something like this. Data is equal to pickle, this time it's .load, pickle.load. And we want to load the contents of file like this. Run my code quickly. Yeah, no errors, that looks good. And then we can then go ahead and print off data here. So let's just think about what should happen here from the start. We first of all created a dictionary, we pickled it, written it to file. This block here is now saying go ahead and open that file, but this time in its read mode or reading bytes mode. Use the pickle.load function to now bring it back from its pickled form into a more Pythonic form. Run our code, and there we go. James 100. Looks good. So I want to quickly discuss the risks. So that's a basic example. And what's interesting about this is that this will just go ahead and load something, kind of unpickle it, and execute it. The problem with this is that, well, it's a pretty rare problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. What if somebody was able to effectively pickle something else and put the file here? Pretty rare example, but it's potential, it could happen. Someone could potentially put some arbitrary code inside this, and then when you go ahead and run it, you could be effectively executing it in your Python code. So what I'm going to do quickly is undo this. I'm going to bring in an example. So the code I've got here is using pickle.loads, and this can take effectively like a raw byte string. And this cos system here, what this is basically doing is doing like os.system, go ahead and run some command. In this case, I'm just doing ls, but let's run this. And this has read out the contents of my directory here. So if you use your imagination, you could potentially put some quite interesting stuff inside this to make something happen on your system. So it's just something worth noting. It's not 100% safe if you're using this on system, which might be shared, etc. But yeah, it's something I find rather interesting. So by using pickle.loads, you could pass in some arbitrary code, and then when we go ahead and run that, you could be executing it unknowingly. So just something to bear in mind. So now let's take a look at a more complex example, simulating a procedure that might take a bit long to do. And to do this, I'm going to do from time, let import sleep. We then want some function which just simulates something taking time. So in practice, this could be something like an API call, reading a big file, some kind of machine learning calculation. And we'll just call this slow func, takes an X, and we'll just do print. If I just sort of show this running, we'll do running, print X, and then we'll do sleep of 1. So you can see here we got from time import sleep. That should be good to go. And then underneath, we're going to use this with, let's do X plus 10. Okay, so this is just a simulation, as it were. And then we'll do data, and let's say the key is going to be I. The value is going to be I, but when passed into slow func, and you want to do this for each I in the range of 1 to, let's do 1 to 4. Right, okay. Let's print data, see what we get. And then eventually, there we go. So we have keys 1, 2, 3, and values 11, 12, 13. So that only took like 3 seconds or so, which is fine. Now imagine this is something that takes like 10 minutes. What we then could do is effectively check for the presence of this existing. So we could say, do we have this saved in a pickle file? If not, then let's go ahead and actually ask it to do this here. So we're basically saying something like, if this is running for the very first time, we can actually go ahead and do this. But, you know, if it's been run before, there should be a pickle file, so we should be okay just to go ahead and read it in. So let's write the steps. So we'll do step 1. Does it exist? Okay, so we'll cancel this off just for the time being. And let's go ahead and just use, could use a few things. So I'm going to use import OS. So we'll say pkl file is equal to test.pkl, like this here. And let's do if os.path.exists pkl file. So this will just be for my current directory. So we'll do print exists or not, basically. And then we'll use this if else to kind of structure our code around. Doesn't exist. So let's try this. Okay, we get doesn't exist. So what we could then go ahead and do is, let's see, so we'll do it inside here. So say the next step is basically going to be in here, and this could be, I guess step 2 or step 2, it could be down here, depending on, I don't know, which one goes through, I suppose. So we'll just say next step, so next possible step really, is going to be if exists, read it. Or the next possible step could be if doesn't exist, make it and save it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the saving of it first. So we'll need to go ahead and make it first. So we will grab this guy, remove it from here. There we are, like this. I can then go and pinch this from earlier on. And let's make sure we get this all uncommented nicely. So I'm going to be doing it with this pickle file here. So it's going to be this. And then rather than doing dump of A, it's a dump of data like this. So let's just quickly run through this one more time. We define a file name and we're saying, does this file name exist? At the moment, no, it doesn't exist. So we're going to print doesn't exist. We're then going to make our data using this dictionary comprehension and then save it into a file. So we should see basically this run again and then a new file on the left called, called test.pickle. Let's give it a go. Right, looks good. There we are. We have test.pickle, and that now exists. So if we run our code again, we see exists. Perfect. So that's what we want. Now we can do with open, let's take this and put this in here. There we go, get this all sort of lined up. And the last thing is just to change this and just put in pickle file instead. Now let's run our code, and now it should just do it straight away. It does, exists, data. Let's go ahead and delete the file, so delete this. So now when we run it through again, this bit should be like, okay, doesn't exist. Let's go ahead and do the computation from scratch, and then save that to file. Running 1, 2, 3. We should see, there it is, test.pickle. Run it again, should be instantaneous. And it is, which is good. Now I think this is where the benefits of pickle files really come into play. This sort of trivial example here is applicable into lots of use cases where you might be producing the same data, but it takes a long time to produce that data. So again, things like machine learning computations, calls off to APIs, long file-based operations. If you're ending up with the same data each time, just do something like this. You know, you can go ahead and do a bit of logic to say, does this pickle file exist? Great. Go ahead, open it, and use it. If it doesn't exist, we'll do the computation once and then save it for later as a pickle file, meaning that when we run our code again, we can say, we've already done this. Let's open the file, use the data, and we're good to go. And of course, we've discussed the risks as well. I get it, it'll be a pretty rare situation, but potentially you could open a pickle file which has arbitrary code, so just something to bear in mind as well. Hope this is helpful, guys. If you've used pickle files at all and you find them useful or have any questions, feel free to leave me a message in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great weekend. Cheers.